Thousands of people have gathered in Paris to protest against the National Rally Party after the first round of voting in a snap general election there appeared to give the far right a substantial lead. With the latest, here's our Paris correspondent, Andrew Harding.
A dramatic win yesterday for France's National Rally. The party was for years considered too extreme for most French voters, with its anti-immigration, Eurosceptic platform and its links to the Kremlin. But last night, the RN, as it's known here, secured more than a third of all votes. The party's leader is Marine Le Pen, who has her eye on winning the French presidency next.
Les Français ont ainsi, dans un vote sans ambiguïté, témoigné.
She told the country it had nothing to fear from a right-wing RN-led government.
Et de la concorde nationale.
But there is a second round of voting here next weekend, and things could still change. After yesterday's vote, President Emmanuel Macron called for centrist and left-wing parties to form a united front to keep the RN out of power. Will it work? It's going to be a struggle. And all this in the middle of Paris's preparations for the Olympic Games later this month. Many French are worried about their country's deep political polarisation. The road ahead will become clearer in a week's time, when a second round of voting will determine France's future. That could be months of political deadlock. It could be a seismic political shift to the hard right, with huge implications for the country and the continent. Andrew Harding, BBC News, Paris.
We can go live to the French capital now, speak to our correspondent there, Hugh Schofield. Hugh, do you want to just explain to us about how this election works in different stages? Because voting one is over, but that's not it.
Yeah, no, it's not over yet. There's a whole campaign that begins now and lasts for a week for the second round, which is next Sunday. Weird system, I know, but it's the French way. These two-round elections are regular. The first round is supposed to be the one in which there's a multitude of different candidates, and then out of those, two are selected who go through to the runoff, or, as sometimes happens, three candidates go to through to the second round. So what's going to happen next Sunday is that in many constituencies, and there are 577 across the country, there'll be a runoff between a far-right candidate and a left-wing candidate. But in a lot of constituencies, there'll be three-way races next week between the left, the far right and a Macronite in the middle. And what's going to happen between now and then is that there's going to be an awful lot of pressure on either of the non-RN candidates in a constituency to stand aside, to let the anti-RN vote be concentrated on a single person, which will, of course, increase the chances of keeping the RN out. That's what's going to happen, and it may well work in limiting the size of the RN probable victory next Sunday.
OK, Hugh, thank you for explaining that.